talk about resistance and why forcing things rarely ever works out the way you want it to. I'm sure many of you have heard the term, for every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. If you study physics, you'll know that anytime one object applies force on another object, the second object applies an equal amount of force back on the first. The reason why I say this is because the harder you push against resistance, the harder that resistance pushes back on you. Think about when you feel a negative emotion or a thought you don't like, and you try your best to push that feeling down or to suppress that thought. And if you're aware enough, you'll notice that it just causes this thought to persist even more strongly. What you resist persists. And so this concept can be applied across all facets of life. It can be applied to people. When you try to force a person or control a person, make them be a certain way, you'll notice their gut reaction is to push against that and to be the opposite of what you want, to move even further in the opposite direction. When you have resistance in your life, sometimes you resist that resistance. It's like you have a resistance, and then instead of noticing the resistance and letting it be and accepting it for what it is, you push against that resistance. You're resisting the resistance. Now you've got another layer of resistance on top of the initial resistance. When we decide to stop pushing against an object, we notice that that object stops pushing against us. And this can be very difficult to do because as human beings, we're so used to action. We're so used to making things happen, applying a certain effort to move in the direction that we want to move. But it's like when you're stuck in quicksand, the first thing you have to do is stop flailing around trying to get out of the quicksand. You have to relax. I think this is or a Chinese finger trap. When you put your fingers in either side, the harder you pull, the tighter it gets. I think both of these are good analogies for resistance and the instinctual reaction to resistance. But next time you find yourself in a position where you feel that resistance, experiment with letting go. Let's say you're an artist looking for inspiration. You're a musician trying to write a song, or a painter trying to paint a painting, and you just have that, or a writer trying to create a story, and you just have that block. You have that writer's block, you have that inspirational block, and you're trying to force the art out. Experiment with stopping that. Just try it out. Maybe you just need to let go and accept that you don't have inspiration right now, or accept that a person isn't behaving the way you want them to behave, or accept that you don't have a good idea or solution for the problem that's currently in your way. Maybe you need to accept this and just leave it up to a higher power. Experiment with that. Try it out. Have a good day.